Are we live? I can't see the yellow thing, so I'm not sure if we're live. We're live! Hi, guys! We decided to do a stream because...
I have to mute you.
You have to meet me?
Mute.
Mute me. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Because we had a few drinks and thought it was novel that we're in the same room together because Paul lives in Calgary and I live in Nova Scotia. And apparently we have adorable accents here.
They do.
And we thought we'd take questions. This is weird for me, though, because I'm used to having earphones and sitting at my computer, not sitting at my couch. So...
There's only room for one at your computer. I
know. This is really strange. If you could see what was going on in my living room right now, it's intense. There's crates. This microphone's on a stack of crates. Paul rigged it up so we can sit together. But
crates are construction tools.
Great. Well, yeah, it worked. It worked. All right. So there's questions, though. We had questions. Paul's Discord had questions. First, yeah. Discord. The Discord had questions.
Wasn't ready.
And hi, welcome to Shannon Q. We're slightly inebriated.
I'm Paulogia.
Oh, this guy's Paul from Paulogia.
If you don't, yeah.
His link is in the description. Probably. I don't know. I don't know what I did. I have no idea what I did. What was the question?
All right.
Okay.
Should we start with the...
Yep. And then we'll do live chat questions. I don't have super chats or anything, so
all right,
I don't
we're
know.
Going to start with the easier ones because they were the most difficult ones first. We'll start with the easiest.
Okay.
Tan asks.
Okay.
Tan from Paulogia Discord. Join in the description, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, do it. It's great. It's great.
Which bit of research for Paul has most surprised you in the results or shocked you in terms of the science versus apologetics differential?
That one's for me, I'm assuming.
That's for Shannon Q.
Okay. The one that was the one that actually got me on the channel for the first time was doing the 70% versus 97% chimp human DNA similarity. Do you remember that?
I do.
Because I was mad. I was helping. My accent's going to be really, really strong because we've been talking about accents. That's what, by the way, that's why the stream's called Having a Go, because Paul didn't know what having a go was. So that's why it's called Having a Go. So yeah, the chimp human DNA similarity one. I was doing the research to help him, and I was reading through the article. And when I read through the AIG research articles, one of the first things that I do is I go through the citations to see if there's any supporting research. Like I'll just do like a tertiary at a glance, straight through reading of it, because it's usually garbage. So I'll just do a straight through reading, like I'll give it a chance. And then I started to go through the citations line by line. And I went through the citations, and the first one was himself. The second one was himself. Who was the author?
By himself. You're thinking the author cited
himself. Yeah, it was
right.
Was that Tompkins?
Yeah, not Jeffrey Tompkins.
Are you sure it wasn't?
Ruhif will remember.
I feel like it was Tompkins.
But yeah, it was Tompkins, but I don't remember his first name. That's all.
I think it's Jeffrey. Yeah, it was Jeffrey Tompkins. So it was himself, and then himself, and then it was a quote mine from a peer-reviewed actual research article from the abstract of it. That the article itself, if you read through it, said the opposite of what they were claiming. And I was livid. I was so livid. I was like, can you just please let me construct something to say? And he was like, yeah, do it. Like, you've already got it all constructed. That's why I was in the human chimp DNA comparison. That's the reason I got my cartoon, is because I was so mad. I was like, you need to let me talk about all of the methodological errors that I'm finding here, because I already had a list that I had constructed. And yeah, so that was the worst one, just because I think it impacted me the most, because it was one of the ones that were earlier on, and I'd started to realize just how bad it was.
Right.
Like, just bad.
And fun Paulogia trivia, that was the very first time anyone guessed it on one of my science videos. I'd never had a science video guessed before that.
I was the first one.
You were?
Because I was mad.
She was rightfully so.
Because I was livid.
Rightfully so.
Livid. All right. What's next one?
There's one for me.
Okay.
Paulogia, if you want to talk about it, I'd love to hear specifics about what type of Mennonite you grew up as, given that we have many different types in my area, Southern Ontario. That comes from Kendall.
Hi, Kendall.
Kendall, if you're watching. So what type of Mennonite was I? Well, so the church denomination I belonged to was called General Conference Mennonites. though my particular congregation, even though we belong to that denomination, we actually thought that my denomination was way too liberal.
Your denomination?
Yeah. It was way too, because they acknowledged that maybe parts of the Bible might be allegory.
Do they let people dance?
No
okay.
drinking,
Good.
no dancing, no saying
close.
curse words. We're still raising barns. We're still doing
all the Mennonite things.
Yeah. So anyway, some of you may view Mennonites, we're similar to Amish, right? Like that we're cousins to the Amish people. But I didn't grow up like that. My parents were the first to actually leave the farm in their family. So my parents became school teachers, which was actually quite a huge departure. So even though my grandparents and, my parents were raised speaking Low German and all that kind of good stuff, what you might imagine when you see a Mennonite thing at a food court or whatever, if you see them selling wares at the side of the road, that was one generation past me. I actually lived in the city, even though we still went to the Mennonite church. And like when I was a young kid, there would still be things like the women and the men would sit on different sides of the church, and we sang all our hymns in Low German.
That's crazy.
All that kind of stuff. So anyway, General Conference. And then that church is now split apart on its own. Now it's just a Mennonite church without affiliation because of those darn liberals. The darn liberal Mennonites, if you can imagine.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So
is that it for Discord questions?
Nope, there's the giant one now.
There's the giant one. All right.
So Tan writes,
hi Tan.
I'd love to hear the Christian perspective or your recollection of your Christian perspective. So what we have to go back in time to think of our old selves.
All right, back in time.
Of how you would have squared the circle, which is an interesting phrase. Squared the circle in terms of which of the Levitical laws you follow, such as gays are icky, and which ones are no longer part of the new covenant, such as farmers sharing their crops with the poor, not planting two seeds in the same field, mixed cloth, shaving, eating pork, and shellfish.
I love both of those
and
things.
on and on. So when we were Christians, how did we deal with those Levitical laws?
All right. Am I going first?
You're going first.
I'm going first. All right. So when I was a Christian, I would say I dealt with them by not really knowing much about them. That's how I dealt with them. It wasn't really hammered in with me. I have a vague recollection of my grandmother being that we could only eat fish on Fridays, or we couldn't eat fish. I can't remember.
Really?
Which one. Yeah.
That would be the Catholic side, I think, coming up.
No, like it was no.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't Catholic though. Oh my God, no, I wasn't Catholic. I was an Anglican.
All right.
And my grandmother was staunch that Catholics were idolaters.
Okay. All right.
We were
but
not
still
Catholic.
Fish on Fridays. Okay.
Maybe, or no, it's just a vague recollection. But like none of those laws
That's how the fillet of fish came to be, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah, because McDonald's kept
They needed
losing all their
something to serve
business
people
on
on
Fridays.
Fridays?
Yeah, no one was coming. Yeah.
That's funny. All right.
That's weird
interesting.
trivia.
Weird
Sorry.
McDonald's trivia, courtesy Paulogia. You're welcome, everybody. Yeah, so I guess, but I wasn't super staunch in that aspect. My teachings were mostly that you could disregard most of the Old Testament because the New Testament, we had a new covenant, and the most important thing was to love each other and to do unto others as they did unto you. However, there were many, many, many in my church who were very staunchly anti-homosexual. And a woman couldn't be a priest for a long time, to the point that my grandmother actually left our church because we got a female reverend, and she was not having that.
Even my church today would not be okay with that.
No, she left.
Okay.
So we were in an Anglican church, and St. Thomas was the name of our church, and our church got a female reverend, and she said, "That's it, I'm out," and left. And went to a different church, still an Anglican church, but went and found another church in a different town to go to.
Nice.
Because she wouldn't go to that church anymore. I don't know if that's a good answer to the question. His is probably going to be more interesting.
Well, and it's interesting because that's actually New Testament stuff. Like women must be silent in the church and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's New Testament. That's not even.
That's not for a woman to teach.
That's not even the Levitical laws. But
yeah.
So it's weird. So as in any Christian denomination, probably any religion, everyone picks and chooses verses what they want to adhere to. So, for example, my denomination actually did adhere to the mixed cloth thing. They didn't wear clothing of mixed cloth at all.
Really?
No.
So you didn't wear mixed cloth?
So I did. So, but
you did,
but my uncles and
ornery bastard.
yeah. So, and of course, traditionally you would see Mennonites, they don't even like wear Amish, at least they don't wear buttons and things like that. So there's some of that came out of there. Me being this modern Mennonite.
Modern man.
We squared it away as being, so the Old Testament was the laws that if we were all they're basically meant to show us how terrible we are, that like to show us the gap between the best we can do and what God demands. And so we always learned that the New Testament was basically to illustrate that we could never on our own, no matter how hard we tried, achieve salvation.
But okay.
And so then at some point you just because we're under the new covenant, you just kind of give up, right? You just
what do you mean by you just give up? You just accept the fact that
So Jesus basically narrows it down at one point to, there's only really two commandments: love your neighbor as love Lord your God with all your heart, and love your neighbor as yourself. And that's pretty much
right.
As far as we were concerned, those are the only two that were really important.
And the rest you just do the best you can.
Or the ones that fit the biases you have. So, for example, if you want to keep hating gay people,
then that's fine.
Then we got a Leviticus verse for that.
So you could find biblical support.
Sure, because ultimately God would want you all to do all of the things in the Old Testament if you were capable of doing it. But you're not. So, for example,
that's frustrating to me because
if you want to cure leprosy, you should be killing doves and spraying people with the blood.
Yeah, and wash your hands, like Ray Comfort said.
And wash your hands.
Just Bible science. Hashtag
except
Bible
Jesus
science.
said the disciples don't have to wash their hands.
Oh.
For reasons.
Oh yeah, but that was in the New Testament. In the Old Testament, that was science. In the New Testament, it's different.
So anyway,
so many questions.
How did we deal with that? Mainly through hypocrisy.
Okay, so we have a lot of questions.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing a garbage job, an absolute garbage job of
I was just
them.
looking at.
It's not usually my responsibility because I'm bad at it, but I did ask if there was a question. Can
we call tartar sauce Jesus sauce now?
No, don't do that to tartar sauce. Why? No. No.
We don't. Definitely don't call it Catholic Church sauce because that's altogether.
I wish I could give out Shannon points for anybody who knows what having a go means. It's got two meanings, by the way.
Put in the comments.
What does having a go mean? What does having a go mean? All right. What's up with the curtain behind you? Oh, it's my curtain on my window. That's what's up with the curtain behind me. We needed to find a place to set up that both of us could be in the picture. And my desk it's in a confined space next to this couch. This is the brown couch you see in every video I post, just from a different angle. So
behind the scenes, Shannon Q.
Yeah, and it's probably got yogurt on it because my kid smears yogurt on everything in this house. So
that's what we're saying.
That's what's up.
It's yogurt.
It's yogurt. All right, your turn. You do better than me.
Hey, Paul, I just found you and gotta say that you rock. See, there you go.
Aw, does that say Paul though? You must have read that wrong.
Hey, Paul, I just found you. So you introduced people to me. Apparently.
Oh, well, that's weird. That's strange because he's way more popular. Than
Agrippa wants to know: is there such a thing as an angry Anglican?
Oh, yeah. Ask him.
I can't say angry Anglican.
Angry Anglican.
Say it 3 times fast.
Angry Anglican, angry Anglican, angry Anglican.
You need more
Cheers.
to drink. You need more to drink because clearly people still say
obviously.
that. Mm-hmm. Talk about Star Wars in all caps.
Talk about Star Wars. Oh my God.
I would need actual questions as opposed to just talking about
Star Wars. And also my life is just listening to people talk about Star Wars. The first stream we did, Logic has a streaming channel now. Go subscribe to Logic's stream channel.
But don't watch it.
Don't. The first one was, oh my God, it was probably like 5 hours long or something.
It was like 5 or 6 hours
It was
long.
ancient. Like we were watching it for a long time. And then we went away and like made dinner and stuff. Yep. And we came back. And it was still streaming. And Logic was like, Shan, come in. So me and Paul both went in, but what we didn't realize
I was not invited. She just dragged me in.
That's what I do. Was when we first went in, they were talking about Marvel, and I was like, "Oh, we'll go talk about Marvel." And we got in, and this is what I like to do with Paul. When people talk shit about Star Wars, I like to go, "He used to work for George Lucas," and then just back up. just
So I
went a little sideways.
Yeah, I went in a room full of people who hate Last Jedi for a living. That's their whole career. Is hating Last Jedi. Career. Yeah, it is. They have YouTube.
No, that wasn't their YouTube. That was their career. Their YouTube channels aren't based on hating the Last Jedi.
I believe that's what they said.
They had a popular video that was that kind of established their channel. Okay, fine, all right. I'm just saying, but I don't think it was the whole.
Ask actual Star Wars questions if you want to know about something general
or Star Trek questions.
Hi, Jen. We're neither of us are Jen.
Who? I think they're probably talking to Jen. And
we love Jen. Hi, Jen. If it's Jen with one N, which
Jen, actually, yes, Jen with one N. Hi.
Actually, it doesn't matter. We love all Jens.
Everybody named Jen is
all
fantastic.
Jens. I have a question. Can we see you two kiss?
No. Question. Did he make that up? He probably made that
That's
up.
Right.
Okay.
I have a question. SNES or Genesis?
Oh, I love Sonic so much. I never had a Super Nintendo, but I did have a Genesis. So I have to go with Genesis. I loved Sonic.
So
I really did.
So
and Mega Man.
As great as Donkey Kong Jr. and some of the other stuff was great, but the NHL series from EA started on Sega Genesis, and those were the best. Okay. They didn't have them on SNES.
I've only ever played NHL on the PlayStation.
Yeah, but they started. So anyway, we just did hockey. I just played hockey on the Genesis all the time.
Oh, okay. I guess we're Team Genesis.
My goalie's name.
I didn't know that.
My goalie's name was always Alex Enns, and then I went on to have a child named Alex Enns who cannot play hockey.
You just doxed your kid.
Yeah. Dr. Bastard asks, do you really want me asking another question after last time?
Sure.
Go
ahead. We don't have to read it.
How long did it take you both from the time you left the church till the time you came out atheist?
Oh. Me, quite a while. You were probably more rapid than me.
Well, mine was actually a reverse situation. I was atheist in the church for nigh a year.
But you didn't come out.
Which is super torturous to sit around
the
congregation and try and mouth the hymns. And I used to be worship leader and I was a youth leader. So lots of people knew me and would watch me. And I would have to sit there and look around at the pews and think, if there is a God, all these people who have done zero investigation are all going to heaven. And me, who has, been agonizingly researching all this stuff, has come to the conclusion there is no God, or at least the Christian God. And yet, I'm the one going to hell. And that actually really bothered me. That was what bothered me most, sitting in the pews.
But in order for that, you would have had to have still had some sort of semblance of belief at that point. To even have that concern.
Maybe, because I was very my
or it was just a resentment thing that I found something out and I'm still in amongst these people that haven't.
Well, although I think I always let myself be if there was new evidence, I would change my mind.
Well, I think all of us would still say that we like that.
But even at the time, I was so maybe I'm not 100% right about this, but I was pretty sure there was no Christian God.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. I had a little bit of this weirdness. Well, it was more that I had an ongoing resentment that I thought that people were telling me things that they were exaggerating how confident we could be in the biblical claims, from my Bible school to my pastors to everybody. And so I didn't like the exaggerated claims I was still sitting there listening to. So anyway, I was at negative something. And then I was it was the same week I stopped going to church, the same week that I was outed. And
yeah. Well, for me.
So there was no gap for me.
Yeah. So for me, there was a big gap. I'm still in the midst of coming out. Kind of come out to my parents and my step-parents. Recently, my stepfather actually just passed away not that long ago. But, I am just sort of rolling it out to a lot of my closer family, and that's not going so well. me and Paul had a fun weekend. Didn't go great. Didn't go. I am cruel, apparently, and yeah. So yeah. But so I guess there was a big gap because I stopped going to church quite some time ago. In my 20s, I stopped going to church, and that's probably where my deconversion started. But I would have still called myself a Christian for a while, and then I would have called myself an agnostic. I've only really identified as an atheist for the past couple of years. Like I've only really shook off that agnostic, wishy-washy.
McRae.
Well, no, I would say I was an agnostic, even though I probably was an atheist, mostly just because I felt that it was more palatable in conversations, which is kind of cowardly looking back. Like it's taking a lot more bravery from me now to just flat out say I'm an atheist and just, deal with the aftermath of that. Whereas if you say you're an agnostic, you're like, well, I would say things along the lines of, well, I guess I just don't know enough about all the religions to make a decision, or, things along those lines.
Right.
So I wasn't really out. I was being just wishy-washy enough that I wouldn't get pinned down into an uncomfortable corner, which looking back, I wish I hadn't done that, because it pushed me into dark places, because there was parts of me I was hiding because I unreasonably felt ashamed about it. And I shouldn't have, and I don't have to, but that's one of the reasons that I'm doing what I'm doing now, is so that other people who might be in that position, maybe a path can be blazed if more people like us step forward and say, hey, we're just, we're normal people who have reason to believe the things that we do, and you're judging us unfairly based on a misconception. And, take a look in the mirror, analyze, do some of your own internal epistemology, and then have a reasonable conversation with me instead of just assuming, the type of person I am just based on a moniker that I subscribe to without asking me questions. So that was a good question.
I've never live. That was a good question. I've never live streamed with another person before.
I know, me either. It's really weird.
I keep now thinking, what would Hugo and Jake do? They just look straight at the camera and never at each other. Yeah. But that feels weird.
Well,
too.
You have to look at that and find a question.
I know. All right.
I can poke you too, which is fun. I can torment him live.
Paranormal Encyclopedia wants to know, is the platypus proof evolution got drunk or that it got stoned?
Neither. Oh gosh, that's it. Got drunk or got stoned. Oh, that's funny.
Evolution doesn't have a process.
It doesn't really have a process. It doesn't have sentience. It doesn't have a destination. It's not like, this is my goal one day. One day it's not like it was, saying I'm gonna turn dinosaurs into birds, and then it just was like, I'm tired of this shit.
How some
platypus.
Some Christians say that the dinosaur bones were put there by Satan to test the faith.
Yeah, that was on the non-sequitur show.
Yeah, I think that the platypus was put there by the evolution equivalent of Satan to test our faith in evolution.
But the platypus is good evidence for evolution, though. Like, because its bill isn't like people who was it Jackson that did a good video?
Yeah,
Jackson,
no, it's all these are all just analogous structures that they're just synonymous. Well, they just look similar to other.
It's just, if anything, it's evidence that what could kind of be like a transitional form,
right,
that was just suited to its habitat and didn't necessarily have to continue, down the path of evolving into a different form because it's suited to its habitat. But I'm not a biologist, so I'm not the person to ask these questions. If you want a good answer.
Jen wants to know how yummy were the taquitos.
I don't know. Well, I thought they were good, but I made them.
It smells so great in here.
It does.
You guys can't even.
Yeah, if you go outside and come back in, it's one of those things. You leave the room and you come back and you're like, oh, it smells so good.
They were super delicious.
Yeah, I like them. I love cooking.
I just came to watch the cuteness, says GMS.
Oh, that guy. Hi, guy.
No one's as cute as GMS.
No, except for you. You're adorable. Look how cute you are. You're so cute. What questions out? Questions.
Would you have done anything different in your discussion debate with Sai?
See, I don't see it as a debate. I saw it as a discussion. I don't know that I would have done anything different. To be perfectly honest with you, I got quite a bit of people came at me afterwards. I think maybe because they thought it was going to be a debate or that I was there to try to like crush his ideas, and I wasn't. I went in just because I wanted to have. I just like talking to people, and I thought it would be an interesting conversation to have with somebody that usually the conversations that you see with that person are combative, and I prefer to have conversations that are slightly more congenial. So I get that there were people that thought, hey, you know, it's your duty to address every single one of his arguments systematically. But I didn't look at it that way. I looked at it as an opportunity for maybe both of us to attempt to understand each other a little bit better. And I thought that he gave some concessions that he wouldn't have given had it been that type of debate, because, you know, we were being honest and having a cordial conversation. A few times he said, you know, I understand how you can see it that way. Like I can see your perspective, which isn't something that occurs a lot.
And you taught him something.
Oh, yes, that's right. That you know, in Genesis, Noah wasn't chastised by people for preaching before it was like the Noah chapter is just.
I noticed that the Answers in Genesis lecture that was given the week after that, they included that fact in their lecture.
Really?
That
I wonder if
they
Nick
shouldn't.
was walking.
I know that they shouldn't.
Nick.
I know. So it was curious.
Nick, our friend from AIG.
Suddenly, that was one of the things. You shouldn't go around saying that Noah was preaching.
Are you serious? That's funny.
Because that's not in.
That's funny.
No. I don't know.
I wonder if it's probably just
a
a coincidence. Although I know Nick was watching, and Nick works at AIG.
Hi, Nick, if you're watching.
And hi, Nick, if you're watching now. You let me know, Nick, if that's why that was in there. That would make me smile.
What I would have done different with your discussion with Sai was, since I was moderating the chat.
Yes, what he was doing was screaming at the chat. With a wrench.
I would have. I don't know how. I would have somehow just like stated unequivocally, this is not a debate, because people thought it was a debate.
Yeah, but I don't know how anybody who would have known me or
I don't think they knew you. I think they came
because they saw Sai was talking to somebody.
They saw Sai was talking, and or there was even like people on Sai's side who kept.
Oh, there's definitely people on Sai's side
thinking that it was.
Yes, holy smokes! And I didn't feel like there needed to be sides either. It's just like sometimes it's okay to just have a conversation without the goal of defeating the person you're talking to, and that is how you find out how people think about things. And it's also a good way of getting people who would usually be combative to somebody in our position to say, oh, hey, you're a person too, who I can have a reasonable conversation with. And maybe this will give me an opportunity to see your side of things and to understand your opinion, to see how you come to the decisions that you come to. And if you do that in a more open environment, and here's another thing. I know I'm going to talk too much about this. I mean, everybody can look back and say, I could have worded that differently. Like in the moment, it's like there's always something in every conversation I've ever been in when I walk away and I think to myself, I probably could have worded that better. Or maybe I should have elaborated on that a little bit more. But those things that happen in hindsight, all you can do is use them to maybe help improve the next conversation that you have. I wasn't trying to beat out any of his ideas with mine. I was just trying to understand why he has the ideas that he has and help him understand why I have the ideas that I do. And I feel like, and he and I still have great, like I haven't talked to him in a little while, but we still get along fantastically. Like we get along great. So, I see it as a success, truthfully. Yep. And if people see it otherwise, then, that's okay too. That's fine.
Did you leave Christianity because you just wanted to sin?
Obviously. That's the only reason anybody does. Although there aren't any real atheists. So none of us are really atheists. But all of us were never real Christians. And we all just leave because we want to sin. Because everybody knows that if you are a Christian, you can't sin. You can't. You can't sin.
And certainly
there's
not
no
just
loophole.
ask for forgiveness.
I was just going to say,
Yeah, yeah.
there's no loophole where you can just do whatever the actual fuck you want and just be like, sorry, and be okay. The difference is now that I have to be accountable to myself and everybody around me for all of the actions I take. There's no one to absolve me.
When I was in Bible
college, I just
college,
have to make good choices or live with them if I don't.
It's true.
When you're Bible college, sorry.
I was trying to interrupt you.
Somebody keeps giving me drinks.
When I was in Bible college, literally anyone who sinned, they literally called it building your testimony.
Building your testimony.
I was just out building my testimony so that you can, have stuff to say later.
God.
What are your opinions on Ewoks?
Oh, Jesus, who did this to me? I'm just going to go on Twitter.
Ewoks were very good for the franchise at the time. They sold a lot of toys. They kept Return of the Jedi popular among kids who, there had been a 6-year gap between 77 and 83. I hated them, of course.
He hates everything, though, to be fair.
No. I loved Wicket. And I'm excited that Warwick Davis became a quasi star.
Okay.
He was 17 when he played Wicket. But no, I mean, it would have been great if George had the foresight to hold back Chewbacca and make the original plans were for the whole race to be Wookiees. But then he decided to put Chewbacca in the first. Anyway, if you care about that, it's in the first one. I didn't love Ewoks. Though I love playing Ewoks in Battlefront. If you play the game Battlefront, the Ewoks are badass and they kill stormtroopers very violently and eat them, and it's awesome.
Badass Ewoks. Oh my god. Let's talk about Star Trek.
Favorite starship captain is the next question.
Oh, good. Favorite starship captain. Okay. Oh wow. We're just finishing Discovery right now, and it's pretty good.
Cisco doesn't count.
He's not a starship captain.
I know,
that's a
why
fucking space station. Who do you think you're talking to?
Well, I'm not gonna.
Who do you think? Were you trying to stop me from making a mistake, or are you trying to get me to smack you?
Either. Who doesn't know the themed Enterprise? I don't know.
I got it confused with the one to Firefly. I was drinking.
I know you're nerd.
Jesus Christ. It's close between. I gotta go Picard. Just because everything Patrick Stewart does makes me smile. I'm a huge X-Men fan too, so he's Professor X to me also. And he has a new series coming out. Picard has a new series coming out. I'm pretty excited about that.
With Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, with Patrick Stewart, with Sir Patrick Stewart. So yeah, I have to go Picard. I have to.
I would go the same way, except I'll make my rule that I can't answer the same as you. So then I will say the Chris Pine version of Kirk.
The Chris Pine version of Kirk? Why the Chris Pine version of Kirk?
Because I feel like he has a bit more of the I'm flying by the seat of my pants. They gave him a little bit. He's a little more fallible than the original Kirk.
You don't think the original Kirk was fallible?
Well, he was. I think it was just more of it, and I appreciate that.
Well, but City on the Edge of Forever is one of the best Star Trek episodes.
I just said more of
all time.
I said more. I'm being contrarian.
I thought you were going to cop out and say something stupid like Christopher Pike or something just to be a dick.
No.
All right. Although you get a little bit more of him in
Michelle
the
Yeoh.
movies.
That's what.
Michelle. Yeah. Oh, in the one episode where she's a captain.
That's right.
Because unless you're saying that her captain in the end.
No.
Sorry. No spoiler. Discovery's been out for a long time. Sorry, guys. What?
Shannon Q. Who is your favorite X-Men?
Rogue, hands down, and I have really good. She is easily the most powerful of all the superheroes, by far, hands down. She absorbed Captain Marvel and essentially just became. She put her in a coma. Just became her. Like she can be she can absorb anybody's power. So she could theoretically have everybody's powers just via touch and just render them incapable of doing anything. But on the flip side of that, she's the most conflicted because you can be the most powerful being in the universe, but you can never have physical contact with another person for your whole entire life. Like, that's a tragic, like, I relate to her on that level. And I'm not talking Rogue in the X-Men movies because they destroyed her in the X-Men movies. Not that I guess I like Anna Paquin. Probably I don't really care about her one way or the other. But she wasn't Rogue. She wasn't Rogue. No. Like, she could, many people would argue maybe like Jean Grey as Phoenix, but Rogue could just grab a hold of her and then she would be Phoenix too. So, and then people would say
Phoenix would stop her from grabbing her. But
how?
Well, with her mind.
With her mind.
Yeah.
She would stop her from touching her.
Like Professor X could stop Rogue from doing something.
Yeah, if he preemptively knew that she was going to do something. So if you had the foresight, if you had the foreknowledge that she was going to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but neither of them can tell the future.
No.
Rogue is telekinetic and telepathic.
I understand, but in a situation where they're
not
facing
Rogue, sorry,
off,
Phoenix.
But like if she saw Rogue running at her,
no, she had Magneto's helmet on or something though. There's ways to block that. That's how Magneto gets.
Just my favorite Nightcrawler.
Okay. He doesn't even need to. Not worth explaining.
Because religion was shitty to him.
No,
mm-hmm.
He was the priest though.
Yeah, and religion was terrible to him. Plus, he was super. I really only
Which Nightcrawler version though? The comic book version, the first iteration of the movies.
So in X-Men 2, the opening scene at the White House is my favorite scene.
Yeah, that's good.
Of all the movies.
It is pretty good.
And then I went. So I'm a DC guy.
Yeah,
I don't read Marvel comics, or I didn't. But
we should not be together. We just shouldn't even be.
But no, then I've read Nightcrawler stuff since, and like the religion aspect became very fascinating to me. Like they barely portray that at all in the movie. So, all right.
I don't know why I even talked to him.
I lost this.
Oh my God, do a better job.
Okay. How many comics have you written, Paul? Oh man.
Ooh, I've got some of them here actually.
Oh.
And graphic
individual
novels.
So I wrote this weird run for Star Wars that wouldn't be considered actual books. That would have been a year and a half worth. So probably there was probably 18 issues of Star Wars stuff. And then at Red 5, I edited all the books and we put out, I would say 150 I've edited, and writing.
You did the Kaiser Soze series.
Kaiser Soze series, Neozoic, Afterburn, and
did you do
blanking on the other ones?
Did you do anything else for Unusual Suspects or just Kaiser Soze?
Just Kaiser Soze so far. Scorched Earth. I don't know. At my comic book company, I probably personally wrote 40 issues, and at Star Wars about 18. And then I've worked on hundreds of books because I was the publisher. So anyway, that's that. Red 5 Comics, if you didn't know that I wrote comics. Favorite Doctor Who?
Tennant.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see the new one. I'm interested to see how she does.
Miss Marvel, that's not a question, Gray Skeptic Mac.
I see. Well, Captain Marvel is Miss Marvel.
No, Miss Marvel is Marvel is the.
Oh, I was wrong. Maybe he's correcting me.
Yes, Miss Marvel is the sidekick, the Muslim sidekick of Captain Marvel. She's the little girl.
No, it's Captain Marvel who Rogue absorbed. Then
okay. I see. But I was just identifying who Miss Marvel is.
Okay.
I don't.
No, I was right then.
Fine.
Good question.
But I also know who Miss Marvel is. Tom Baker for the win. But Gambit through cards.
That's good.
Andrew writes, but Gambit through cards. True. You can't deny.
I changed my mind. You did.
If you two did a podcast together, you would dominate YouTube.
Ow.
Technically, I don't consider YouTube to be podcasting.
You know what, Paul? Fuck.
Yeah.
Honest to Jesus.
Cable is the best in the comics. You guys.
Did anybody guess what Havin to go means? Nobody speaks Nova Scotia.
No one.
Here. Paul thinks we're weird.
I got good.
Okay, how about this? If somebody says my dog died, and you say, "Oh, what a sin," that's normal, right? What a sin. That means like, oh, that's too bad.
I'd never heard that before.
Oh, Jesus Christ! My cousin kept saying, "Oh, what a sin," and I would say, "Yeah, it's a sin." And Paul would be like, why is everybody sinning? And I was like, no, that's what you say. when something's like, oh, that's too bad that happened to her, or oh, but yeah, it's just like, it's akin to saying, oh, you say, what a sin. Don't look at me like it. Read the goddamn question.
I took it as like some kind of religious thing.
No, it's just.
I understand, but
fucking ridiculous.
And then I realized
ain't nobody else knows how to speak English for fuck's sake.
So, Metal Slugs Master, who is clearly 70 years old, writes, Paul, did you grow all that yourself, or are you taking style advice from the cast of WKRP in Cincinnati?
Oh, the best episode of that show is when they threw all the turkeys out of the helicopter.
That's a classic.
I thought turkeys could fly.
God is my witness. I thought turkeys could fly. But my favorite one now, when he gets more and more drunk. Yeah, yes! more and more drunk, and he gets the faster on the on all
That's
the.
So good, and Venus flytrap keeps getting worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he and Trap. What was his name?
Yeah, his name was Trap. What
was it? Yeah, his name was Trap. Yeah. We're the program director. Yeah, we're in the back, just hammered. Yeah, that was great.
And he just kept getting faster and faster. The cops like, I've never seen this.
Shannon's a nerd. Good to know.
How did anybody not know?
Says Mr. Orso.
I am super.
Rogue
nerd.
absorbed Phoenix in one of the X-Men realities. Yeah.
Really? Oh, is that in one of the comic book series?
I guess so.
Oh, that would have been amazing. See, and nobody stopped her, Paul. Nobody stopped her. It's like it could actually fucking happen. Imagine. I'm right.
As with anything, as with any time, any superhero battles any other superhero.
Apparently, it's capable.
It all depends on who writes it.
Still possible. Just saying.
That's not true, Shannon. She's not the most powerful. She has to be able to touch them. A character like Silver Surfer could kill her without even trying.
Most powerful. How is he going to kill her without even trying?
Silver Surfer? Silver Surfer can just command galactic forces.
Oh my fuck. All right, fine. Then, no, still.
Nightcrawler is awesome.
What if she touched her?
Oh, well, Silver Surfer's in orbit. He's not coming down and chatting with any. Silver Surfer doesn't talk to people.
I almost choked.
Okay, this is a Nova Scotia question, obviously.
Oh, I know people from Nova Scotia.
Because are you originally from the places you live in now? I guess that's okay.
I am.
Are you originally from the places you live in now?
Yeah, I'm from like 20 minutes down the road.
No.
He's not. You're supposed to say where you're actually from, though.
I'm from Saskatchewan, and I live in Alberta, and I lived in the United States for a long time.
Just no. No.
No.
No elaboration.
Nope.
Don't ask him closed-ended questions because that's the end of that.
Here's a good philosophical type question. If you go through a Star Trek teleporter, is it the same you who comes out? Is the you who comes out the same you that went in? That is a good question.
No.
You're a copy?
You have to be. Have to be.
So, but the original is destroyed.
Yeah.
So there's now a new. Every time you transport, there's a new you made, and an old you is dead.
Yes.
That would be my answer as well.
Yeah.
Actually. But,
yeah, because it's not physically moving you.
No, because I think
it breaks you down
and makes a new makes a new one out of you. But I was thinking, like, what if there aren't enough elements where you're going to make like you? Like, what if you're?
Well, then the transporter will fail, and that'll be the end of you. And you're done.
They've never had that in an episode, though.
Well, call somebody. Make a phone call.
I'm calling JJ Abrams.
Get your shit, yeah, like you could fucking call.
I could call JJ.
I could call JJ Abrams. I can call JJ Abrams right now.
Watch,
he'll direct your movie.
Yep. All right.
And I'll have to eat my words. What?
Jen wants to know, have you guys ever been to Niagara Falls? You could visit me, and it's close to Toronto.
Oh, I wish. I have not, but I would love to because we have a friend there who also does YouTube who I would very much like to visit.
I have been to Niagara Falls several times. I like the falls. I think the rest of the town is garbage. It's tacky. It's like the worst parts of Vegas.
Such a dick. He's honest, though.
But it's adjacent to Buffalo, which is the worst city in all of North America, including where we just were. Buffalo is way worse than where we just were.
We were just in St. John. We were in St. John this morning.
Sorry to everyone from St. John.
We went to see the reversing falls. I was like, how do you feel about factories that may or may not be abandoned? Oh, or St. John.
Paulogia, is that a blonde mop? Is that blonde mop a conscious choice?
Oh, he's adorable. Don't make
or
fun
is
of his hair.
icophobia a factor here? So we're in the freaking Maritimes, and my hair goes nuts here.
It does. It's humid. It's very humid.
It's crazy
here.
humid, and so my normal.
They don't
hair,
have water in Calgary.
Also, no, we have no humidity, no air water in the air at all. Also, Shannon, I never cut my hair before I come to see Shannon because she likes it longer.
I do.
So when I get home, I'll probably cut
get
it.
What I want.
Apology, you probably answered this, but do you like the new Star Wars movies, and what character do you like? So
you got into a fight on Logic's channel about that. Oh, you have to answer this one next. That
I'm going through an order.
Joy Polly, we've got yours next because we actually had Pictou County pizza. I made him eat it while he was here. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, I can skip this question then.
The what?
The question we just talked about.
No, you can answer that.
Do I?
I got distracted. I'm sorry.
So, yes and no. I think they're better. I think they're improvements to the prequels, which I worked on. So, they are not everything that I think everyone wants them to be. I enjoyed Solo. I had fun with it because I just wanted to have fun. I had
Warwick was in it.
I had very little fun with Rogue One, other than the Vader scene. I liked episode 7 and 8 more than most. I forgave because I saw what they were wanting to do. At least in my head, I feel like I know what they wanted to do. I forgave some of the big problems with them. And so I acknowledge there are huge problems with them, but I kind of just go with it.
Okay, Halifax or Pictou County pizza? You've had both now.
Pictou.
You like the Pictou County pizza?
Yeah.
More than Halifax. You like the sauce.
Well,
the brown
when have
sauce.
I had pizza in Halifax?
The last time you were here. We ordered a pizza and sat on this couch and ate it.
But
Holy shit.
That wasn't Halifax.
This is
pizza.
Halifax. Well, no, it's kind of Halifax. No, well, Halifax everywhere else or Pictou County pizza.
Oh, I like the Pictou was really different, and so I like.
It's very different.
Pictou.
Pictou County pizza is famous. It's a place to know. Yeah, they ship it all over.
But Canada. I gotta say, it was built up to me much more than it was. It wasn't as good as the build up.
It was good.
Manhattan pizza is the best pizza I've ever had. Sorry, everybody. Pizza in New York is the best.
That wasn't one of the options.
Yeah, well.
He's cheating. For the record, everybody. He's fucking cheating.
No, I lost because we went out of order.
Oh, I asked you a question. But it's another Star Wars question. I'm going to get a drink.
No. Can you see through each other's glasses? Similar prescription. I have no idea.
I don't know. Here, let's try. Holy No.
Nope.
Nope. No. No. Oh my God. No. No.
All right.
Well, now we know the answer to that question.
Now we know the answer to that.
Holy shit.
Shannon Q, if you could visit one moment in the past, when and where would you visit?
If I could visit one moment in the past. I would go to the moment my son was born because he got taken away from me because he had the cord wrapped around his neck and he only scored a 5 on his APGAR. And he had to leave the room during that first period of time and go be by himself. I would go to that moment in time so that I could be in the room with him while they were stitching me up. That's what I would do. So that he didn't have to spend the first moments of his life by himself. That's what I would do.
Okay. No one asked me.
You can still. You're such a literalist. Apparently, you can't get rid of that. Not completely. Never goes away.
Can I speak Low German? Not really. No.
Me either.
I can phonetically, like, Gott ich lieben is one of this.
What does that?
Is one of the hymns. Like I can go along phonetically with some of the hymns.
Yeah.
Like O Tannenbaum and some of the songs, but no, I don't really speak them. I just sort of memorized the sounds as a kid of what some of the words were.
Okay.
I know Omi Schleipet Obadiah means I'm very tired.
Isn't Obadiah like a name?
Well, it's Low German. So, no, that's Jebediah.
Okay.
Obadiah, maybe. I don't know. Something got messed up. And now what did you guys collect as kids?
Mine's weird. I collected thimbles.
Thimbles?
Yeah. Everywhere you go, like if you go into like a little like shop at like, you know, like those like collector's item shops or like touristy shops or gift shops at museums or places that you visit, they almost always have a thimble with the name of the place on it.
Yeah.
And I was kind of pragmatic and I didn't like big things. So I thought, and I didn't need a t-shirt. So I thought if I would get a thimble.
Did anyone in your family have those spoon racks? Like in
my grandmother.
I hated those.
My grandmother had a spoon rack. Several hanging on the wall.
I collected Star Wars action figures, of course.
And he still has them.
And hockey cards.
I
have
one.
every hockey card.
Oh, I did too, actually. And sticker books, hockey sticker books.
From 1970.
Yeah.
Up until about 2006 or so.
Do you still have them?
Yeah, and they're all in my house.
And I bet you they're in pristine condition,
they are
organized.
They're all
probably organized
sleeves.
by team.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
You've
That's
never
cool.
seen under my stairs at my house.
I've never seen what upstairs at your house?
Under the stairs of my basement.
No, I haven't been downstairs.
No one break into my house. But there's probably like 40,000 hockey cards under there.
40,000?
Yeah, I have a lot.
Jesus Christ.
And I never moved them to San Francisco with me because that would have been ridiculous. So they were at my parents' house for a long time.
Oh, okay.
All right. Could you lovely Canadians send some coffee crisps to New York, please?
How do you not have coffee crisps?
They don't. That was when I moved to San Francisco. That was like one of the first things. Is like, where in the hell is the hot coffee crisps? I didn't say hell because that was a question.
Where in the heck? Where in the golly gee willikers?
HG double hockey. Coffee crisps are delicious.
I don't like them.
Send us your address and we'll get you some.
You can have my share.
That's Jen. So Jen gets some if she wants some.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't eat them, so you can have all of mine. I don't eat chocolate bars really. I'm weird. Just Niagara Falls! Exclamation point. We must be back on the questions.
Have you ever seen Vice Rhino in real life?
No, but I think that we're going to go visit him and probably, I think Mike. People know his Godless Cranium. Probably this year.
I was going to say Vice Rhino's not Mike. Yeah, okay.
No, and I said and.
I know. I got you.
Probably this year. Hopefully. That's part of the plans that we're making. But we also have to go to Faithless Forum this year, too, which is in the States, which means I need to get a passport. I don't have a passport. I am such a bumpkin.
Paul, will you and Shannon ever visit Southern California? We can get drinks on the observation bar to Queen Mary.
Let's go. Let's go right now.
Fun fact about me, San Diego is the city I've spent the most time in that I've never lived in. I've added up the time. I think I've spent about 7 months in San Diego.
What, for work?
Yeah. And also vacations. Like, I just love San Diego. So we will eventually go to San Diego and go to Comic-Con so that we can...
I would die to go to Comic-Con.
So that we can be with 150,000 other people in one building.
What I want to do is I want to dress up as your girl from Neozoic and go to Comic-Con.
Yeah. Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, I bet you'd be okay with that. I think he's on board. I'm not sure. It was subtle. Oh, that's funny. Focus.
What are coffee crisps? I don't know.
They're a chocolate bar that have like a weird sort of... It's like a hard spongy center. It's like... I don't know how to describe the center.
Well,
it'd be like sponge toffee. It's sponge toffee in the center.
Well, it's cookies and that. Did you say cookies already?
No, I didn't say cookies.
It's like.
But I'm just trying to like
those pink wafer
coffees.
Those pink wafer cookies. I feel like is the same texture as the inside of a coffee crisp.
No, they're harder than that. Well, the first part of it,
similar.
The top of it, yes. Sure. But then there's like that. There's like a sponge toffee core. That's the part that tastes like the coffee.
Yeah, and it tastes like coffee and a chocolate. Coffee and chocolate.
Yeah, it's just. It kind of melts in your mouth. Like first, you have to chew the chocolate. Like it's all different, consistent. I don't do it. I don't do well with it.
Got a few Gretzky rookies. Yes, I have 2.
Of course you do.
One of them signed.
Shut your face.
Yeah.
How?
When I was 10, I went to Noah's dressing room. So I got Mark Messier, Yuri Curry, Andy. I'm dating myself now. So Andy Moe, Grant Fuhr.
You get them all signed?
Yeah, I have all those signed.
How did I not know that? I knew that you met like Ron.
Ron McLean. Because I was on Hockey Night Canada one time.
Yeah, I knew you were on Hockey Night
Ron
Canada.
and Don, yeah. But that was when I was an adult. When I was a kid.
It's funny. Don didn't even register with me. Don Sherry. Like, oh, he's annoying. You got them signed?
Yeah, I have like all the.
You have a signed Gretzky rookie card.
Correct.
And a signed Andy
Moe rookie, and a signed Mark Messier rookie, and a signed Yuri Curry rookie, and. Who else was on the team at the time?
Jesus Christ.
Glenn Anderson.
I am so jealous right now. I don't care about your stupid signed cards, but you get to meet Wayne Gretzky.
I did a few times actually, but
a few times actually.
Well, he's a drunk.
This is my life. He's like, oh, there's a ton. And fucking Ewan McGregor. I was like, what? Fucking guy.
Now I'm here with you.
Yeah. Lucky me. Lucky me. Now I'm the best of his stories.
Shannon, I'm going to send you a thimble, says Grey Skeptic.
Oh,
Mac.
Don't do it. Please don't do it.
Don't
I got rid of all of them. I don't clutter good. I don't. Like, I'm very minimalistic. There's nothing on my shelves. I don't even have shelves because then I'd have to put stuff on them.
We're not really getting atheistic questions.
You. No, right? I don't know. Yeah.
Shannon, have you tried Blue Lobster vodka soda?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did you like it?
It's not quite sweet enough for me.
So I would have had to drink it, you'd have tried it, and then you'd have it to me.
That's what I've been doing. Just buying a variety of coolers. Every time we go to the liquor store. One of my favorite things to do if I'm in a different province, and we've been in New Brunswick twice, and when I go to Alberta and when we were in Ontario, is I like to go to the liquor store and buy all the coolers I can't get in Nova Scotia, whether I'm going to like them or not, just to try them. I buy them and I have one sip and I'm like, I don't like this. And then Paul drinks those and I drink the ones that I like. Paul's just been drinking crap I don't like for a week now. But I made him taquitos, so he's fine. Don't worry about him. He's fine.
Paul, what books or scholars convince you that the Bible was man-made rather than a divine work?
Good question. That's going to take a minute. I'm going to drink.
So obviously Bart Ehrman is in there, but he was not the first by any stretch. I wish I could remember the name. I want to say Friedman. There's a book called Who Wrote the Bible? And there's a guy named Peter Enns, actually, who's a Christian, who wrote several books about this as well. The Historical Adam, I think, was the name of the book. Anyway, yeah, I would say, I mean, Bart has had a big influence. And then anything that he references, I tend to go and read. But it was actually learning about the documentary hypothesis first that I'd never heard before. And I read a number of books on that, and I wish I could remember the authors' names. I just can't because they were by like 6 authors, and they were like edited textbook type things. But and there's actually a great series. So if you're on YouTube, there's a Yale lecture series on.
Oh, that's good.
The Old Testament, actually on the Pentateuch, on the first 5 books of the Bible.
That's really good.
Just look it up, Yale Bible history or Yale Old Testament history. And it's like 16 hours, and she goes through her book basically. Mm-hmm. And when it came down to that, then I started just looking at what can I accept at face value. Once you start realizing that like there probably wasn't a Moses, and that the Pentateuch was probably put together by at least 10 different authors. and editors, and that the book of Deuteronomy, they just found it later on behind the thing, and it so happened that everything in Deuteronomy was served the current king really well. Stuff like that. Not Deuteronomy. Where's Deuteronomy? Yeah, Deuteronomy. I have been drinking too much. I was right. Anyway,
Yep.
Bartram is my favorite.
Yes, Joy. Good.
What did Joy say?
The lime Ricky.
Oh, pop cooler.
Get on the question.
Where are these questions being posted to? Says, is this in gold? Well, that right here says it's in gold.
We're reading them off the live chat on our phone. He's on the tablet.
Paul should be thanking God every day for Shannon. Checkmate, atheists.
We were talking about checkmate atheists. About people just posting pictures of goats. Checkmate atheists.
If you want to have fun on Twitter sometime, just do a search for checkmate atheists, because just random people around the world post like Justin Bieber photos and they say checkmate atheists as a joke, right? But
I
it's
almost
fun.
did it this afternoon. I almost just took a picture of just the nothing in St. John where we were. Checkmate atheists.
But this checkmate atheist was from the Non Sequitur show.
Oh, Kyle! Hi, Kyle. I'm assuming it's Kyle. It's usually Kyle on that one. He said something nice, so it wouldn't have been Steve. Steve would have said something argumentative, philosophical, or smart ass. There's a train going by my house.
Oh, train break.
You should still be able to hear.
Okay.
I think.
So, since we all know you atheists are evil devil worshipping monsters,
We are.
Trademark.
Trademark.
What's your favorite recipe for babies?
Oh, slow cooker. With just a little bit of salt and pepper. Everything's better in a slow cooker.
Rotisserie honey garlic.
I don't like it anymore. All right. Okay.
YouTube turned me into an atheist, so I'm glad that people like Paul and Shannon are continuing to carry that torch.
Yay! Welcome.
Says
We're here
Andrew.
with you. Hi,
Welcome, Andrew.
Welcome.
Did Mr. ID leave? Damn, I love that guy.
Was Mr. ID in the chat? Oh, Mr. ID. He's the first person, I think, before G-Man that I talked to on YouTube. Other than the first.
He was the first talk about you?
No. Because me and you were on a stream, remember, on Steve's channel? And Steve was like,
right.
I'm going to bring in Mr. ID to talk to Shannon. And I had no idea who this guy was.
I think that was the birth of the talk about you.
Yes. And then Steve was like, holy shit, I've never had somebody have a conversation with him that didn't end in just rage.
Even Kent Hovind just up and left when he talked to Mr. ID.
Kent Hovind rage quit on Mr. ID. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I miss Let's Talk About You with Shit and Q. I haven't done one in a long time. If you don't know about them, they're on the Steve McRae's channel. I'm pretty sure there's probably a playlist still there.
And you have a playlist on your channel.
Oh yeah, there's a playlist on my channel but the playlist on my channel is just like every live stream I've ever been on.
You're not dedicated.
And half of them were Red Pill Religion and they all got deleted. You deleted them all. Because
McRae,
I'm a Nazi.
McRae actually does have it. I saw it today. He has a playlist. Shannon, do you know what proper chuffed means?
Proper chuffed. Oh. No, I don't know if I do. I feel like that means just right drunk, maybe. I could be wrong. Let me know.
Dr. Bastard, you have to tell us what it means.
Yeah, proper chuffed. Is he Newfie?
Dr. Bastard? I don't know.
Proper chuffed. Did anybody guess what having a go means?
Not so far. I don't know what Dr. Bastard and Dr. Strange, I think, would have a good time together. There was a question that was just movie question. I don't think that was for us.
Movie question.
Paul, would you say there is some divisiveness when it comes to mythicism? I ask because I've been called a porch atheist and labels like historicist. have been made up to describe non-mythicists. Yes, there is divisiveness, I would say.
Yeah, but it's not with all mythicists, though. I would like there's people like me and like Godless Cranium. Why can't I ever remember Mike's? Me and Godless Cranium, who were just like, you know what, we don't know enough about history to really weigh in, and even if we did, it doesn't matter. Like, it wouldn't change anything. And we're really good friends with Godless Engineer, who is definitely a mythicist. He's not like, well, you guys don't hold the right. He's just like, cool.
Yeah, but you know, one thing, of course, with atheists, we agree on exactly one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
in our cult.
Yeah.
Our religion cult.
None of us believe in a god.
Yeah,
and that's really all that we have. Like, so there's
Yeah.
people on the political left and political right, and there's mythicists not. I was a mythicist briefly. I actually,
Were you?
yeah, I was quite convinced by Richard Carrier.
Interesting.
I don't think I had full information.
That's pre-Ehrman, probably.
Yeah, that was, and I, frankly, it was before I was even outed. Like, it was before. Wow.
Oh.
So I was
Okay.
just, but then I've now come to the conclusion that, I mean, all history is probabilical.
Probabilistic? Probabilical.
Probabilistic.
It's probabilical. That's when you may or may not have an umbilical cord. Probabilical.
So even Richard Carrier is like, I just think it's more probable than not that there wasn't Jesus. He doesn't say there wasn't one. I mean, when he speaks,
he says that there's a 1 in 3.
Yeah, so he's just like, I think it's just more likely that. And so anyway, I came to come to the conclusion that in what I'm trying to accomplish, it makes zero difference to grant historicity. Like, so I can grant historicity to the people I'm talking to so that I don't have to fight one more hill, because whether there was,
it could
so
derail a conversation that's going
right
the way you want.
So I always say whether or not there's Jesus is similar to me, like, is whether there was a real guy named Paul Bunyan. Or Johnny Appleseed or whatever, right? Was there a real guy it was based on? Maybe. Why not? Sure.
Yeah.
Like, it makes no difference to this.
It doesn't change the fact that the myth
claims.
itself, and and it's clearly embellished. I mean, and if you look at the Gospels, they're disparate in their accounts of, like, even his lineage,
right? Which
is patriarchal lineage, which makes no sense because she was a virgin. Right.
So I feel like I can
He's not from the line of David. Sorry, I don't know if they knew how insemination worked.
I usually try and getting as quick as I can to the resurrection, because that's what I feel like I have strong. Like, the resurrection didn't happen, and I feel like I can just
spoiler.
I have 3 videos on this on my channel.
I know.
I can just get to that point much faster if I grant historicity. It's also weird. I also grant that Jesus died, which is so funny because a lot of Christians like, oh, you grant Jesus died. I'm like, really? That's the least.
It was 2,000 years ago. He's probably dead by now if he was alive.
I know, right?
That's the extraordinary.
They're like, oh, you're granting he died. Yeah, I am. So anyway,
that's funny. Who would like to see Paul debate the resurrection? Show of hands. Show of hands. I would just like to see Paul debate the resurrection. I'm just saying.
Does Shannon paint her toes?
I don't paint my toes, but I paint my toenails.
Shannon does not paint my toes.
Nope.
That's important.
I don't even touch them if I can help it.
Are you guys physicalists?
I don't know what the hell that means.
Is that the same as a materialist?
Probably, maybe. Then probably.
I'm a methodological naturalist. I'm not a philosophical naturalist. I don't know if you are.
I'm just learning the philosophical aspect.
Well, philosophical naturalist means to you that,
and I've had way too many drinks to just decide what my philosophical stance on anything is right now.
I'm open to the idea of there being a supernatural. If someone could possibly define for me what it would even mean to be supernatural.
Yes. Okay. Sure. I'm open to the possibility of just about anything. So fine. I'm not closed off to it.
A philosophical naturalist just says there's no supernatural.
So there's no, it's not even within the realm.
It's not even within the realm of possibility.
The probability is 0.
And that's what Red Pill thinks that you and Crocoduck are.
No, but we're not, though.
I know, but that's what they think.
Well, if I had $1 for everything that they thought about me, that was a load of horse shit.
I'm not a physicalist because I don't really know what that means, but I'm a methodological naturalist. What the fuck is a train? I guess.
What the fuck is a train?
Well,
I don't know how to. It goes choo choo.
follow-up question. That train sounds awesome. I just got a boner. So, Dr.
That guy can tell you what a train is.
Dr. Zaius, you should get together with the other guy.
Doesn't sound awesome though when it's always going by. Well, not always, but what?
In movies in the 50s, that used to be like the meta. They would show a train going into a tunnel instead of having a sex scene.
You're old. He's old as
I'm
fuck.
not alive for that. My dad was barely alive for that.
Yes, but you're old enough that you watched those movies.
What you drinking, Paul? Rum and Coke.
Rum.
I think it's the Appletons.
Yep. But we do have some. What do we have in there? Sailor Jerry's. We have Sailor Jerry's in there too. We've been accumulating. We've been on a booze tour of the Maritimes.
We have.
Yes, we have. Mm.
Can you imagine a time when coming out atheist is a weird thing? I was surprised when I first heard this. It's a weird thing here in New Zealand.
So it's weird to come out as an atheist in New Zealand?
I think he's saying that the concept of having to come out as an atheist is a strange concept to him.
Interesting. Is New Zealand predominantly atheistic? I wonder. I haven't looked at any statistics on that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just assuming it's similar to Australia. I know New Zealanders and Australians are very different, but I'm assuming socio-politically that they're
yeah. I would like to imagine a time where it isn't strange, but in most of North America, that's just not the case right now.
I feel like the concept of coming out is always going to be a thing as long as there are minority groups of any kind.
Also true. I mean, for you, if you're in a predominantly, here's another thing. So if you're in a socio-political or socio-demographic area that's predominantly atheist, there's a large probability that you were raised atheistic. If you weren't raised as an atheist,
right? If
even if you were in
Sweden,
that area,
right.
There are people that are in your area that are church-going people that could potentially be deconverted that will have to come out to those people. So just because it's not prevalent doesn't mean that it's not relevant to somebody, and that somebody just isn't you. And because of the demographics where you are, when they do make that decision, it's going to be easier because there's the infrastructure is there, like the social support is there. So coming out as an atheist isn't just about coming out to friends and family and coworkers, and I guess to a certain smaller degree coworkers, it doesn't come up as much there, but to friends and family and social groups. Like if your social group is predominantly atheistic, it's not going to be as big a deal. But if you are entrenched in a social group and you're entrenched in a social group that is religious, or your religion is what constructs your social group, that makes a big difference because you're pulling apart not just your belief structure. Like you don't just have to, you're not living the rest of your life in a static manner. Only you believe things differently now. But you believing things differently affects all of those relationships, which affects that dynamic, which changes everything. So I'm not sure if I'm articulating that well, because whose idea was it to have a live stream? That's a good question, though.
Actually,
I wish it was less. That's part of the reason that we do what we do, though, is so that, I wish that more people would watch, I'm not necessarily just my videos, but your videos and videos along the gamut of people like us, because there's someone for everybody. Not my approach may appeal to you, but another YouTuber who has a similar, I guess, ultimate goal as me, who has a different sort of verbal approach or a different conversational tactic than I do, may speak to somebody else a little bit more. That may be what gets through to them or helps somebody who loves them understand their perspective a little bit better. So share the videos around so that Maybe not this one. So that people can see and get help. And mine always in the video description, I always have links that were given to me by Genetically Modified Skeptic, by Drew, and Holy Kool-Aid, that where you can go and find mental health support and emotional support. And if you go to Holy Kool-Aid's website, he also has links where you can find social groups, and you can do that through Armin Navidi and the Atheist Republic as well. So like, just know that there's people out there. There's ways to get support. And I wish everything was like this, like it is for this person in New Zealand. I really do. I hope for that. I strive for that. We're working towards that, but it's not right now. And that's why we need to do things like we're doing currently. And thanks for watching.
Not in my province. My province is never going to be that way.
Never? Just never?
Yeah, well,
so
Alberta will be just a pocket of
forever.
No,
the rest of the world just will. Alberta will just build a wall around itself, going, "We want our Catholic schools. We just want to wear cowboy hats and hate people."
Hey, Paul and Shannon, what are some philosophical conversations going on right now that just bore you?
That just bore me. Oh, every time somebody has a conversation about the definition of atheism and agnosticism, I want to shoot myself in the face. Every time. Every time. Every time. 100% of the time. Because I feel like the best way to find out what somebody believes is to ask them. Ask them. Because people ascribe labels to themselves for a multitude of different reasons. And if you spend 45 minutes explaining to them why they're wrong, and you're right about the way that they've given themselves, the way they've labeled themselves, you're missing an opportunity to have a meaningful discussion about why they do or do not believe the things that they do, because you got so caught up in being right about how they labeled themselves. So that one, every time, because I think it's pointless. I think it matters not. Every time somebody says the words in that conversation, every time I hear the word Stanford, what is it, the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, I'm like, I'm out. I'm done. Because you're just trying to be right now. You're not trying to be productive. So, nope.
I don't know if it's philosophical, but I cannot bring myself to care about flat Earth in any way.
Oh, that's not philosophical. That's just flat out dumb fuckery, and I don't care.
Yeah, like
I can't watch them.
Well, but
I try to sometimes. Red's rhetoric is funny, so I can deal with watching him. If he's on non sequitur, I will watch him because I love non sec, and he's kind of funny. But no, don't care.
Steve says he's trying to arrange more talk about you with Shannon Q, but he's been so busy with hangouts and shows. So.
Oh, Steve is so busy. He's such an important guy.
JMD Apologetics offered to be one.
Oh, I've talked to him quite a few times.
And then Steve told him that he's too normal.
He is quite normal. He's a lovely person. You should go check out his channel too. JMD is a lovely guy.
Another freaking atheist says, proper chops means tell him the truth, doesn't it?
Proper chuffs?
I guess. Chuffs? Well, he said chops, and the other person said chuffs, so I don't know. Any thoughts on epistemological nihilism? So I have some.
I know we were talking about it earlier. That's why I wasn't laughing. Because we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, go for it.
About how every time somebody has a moral conversation with an atheist, they essentially assume that because you're an atheist, you have to hold a position of nihilism. Because that's the logical follow through of atheism, is that you have to believe that nothing means anything and nothing matters. And it frustrates me because there's a myriad of nuanced perspectives. And not even nuanced, sorry, that's not even the right word. There's a myriad just of perspectives within the spectrum of the atheist community. And while nihilism is one of them, I would say it's a minority view. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking, is epistemological nihilism basically not just nihilism, but is like epistemology is how you come to decide something.
Yeah,
so is epistemological nihilism, is that basically saying that you just can't know things?
Yes. You can't know anything.
Yeah, you just can't know anything. Like that's different.
Nothing means anything.
That's different than nothing means anything. Epistemological.
Sure.
I'm wondering if that means like it's a Seitan Brudenkate type situation where it's like if you don't know everything, you can't know anything.
Right. Okay.
And so there are people who just like are so contrarian. It's like you just can't know anything, so I'm not going to bother trying. And
right. Okay. So
I feel like that's what epistemological nihilism is.
No, I agree with you on that's what epistemological. But was I not getting to that by saying that when you have a moral conversation, they automatically assume that you can't have any morality because nothing means anything to you? I feel like that follows through from it, but maybe I wasn't as precise as I should have been.
I thought you were just
incorporating the epistemological.
I thought you were just talking about general nihilism,
well, yeah, I was, but you're right. But no, that's fair.
Okay,
that's fair. I wasn't because I was putting it back to the conversation that we were having earlier,
right?
In order to but anyway, what are your thoughts on it?
So I basically won't have a conversation with anyone who I just don't care. So anyone who doesn't care if they're true and anyone who isn't willing to. So that I generally go into a conversation with three presuppositions.
Mm-hmm.
So not two. The universe exists,
and you can know things about it,
and you can learn things about it.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone who's not willing to grant me those two things, I just don't want to talk to, because if you're not like, no, maybe we're a brain in a vat, and let's talk about that. It's like, well, I just don't.
I don't care. That's not the reality I live in,
right?
Yeah.
And so, or we can never know, like how you can't know that the universe exists, which is essentially those brain in a vat type guys.
Yeah.
I'm unwilling to engage because I don't feel like it's intellectually honest. So
no, it's not. I think it's a way of obfuscating everything so that you don't even have to have an honest conversation anymore.
So
it's a way of just saying, well, based on your worldview. And every time I hear somebody say based on your worldview, I just, because I don't do that to people. At least I do my best not to just say to somebody when I'm in a conversation, what you think is this? Because it's ridiculous. Like, you're not having a conversation with that person anymore. You're having a conversation with a biased schematic of that person that you have built up in your head. And that is not a fair way to ever have a conversation. You don't go anywhere.
It's the same as playing tennis with a brick wall. Really. You're just hitting a ball against the wall and nothing's ever going to happen. Well,
you can still play tennis with a brick wall. Eventually you'll miss and the brick wall wins.
Yeah, that's what it's the same thing.
Yeah.
All right. Having a go is when you're busting someone's balls. Philip Swain guesses. There are more guesses, so don't.
No. It's close. That's fairly close. It's got two meanings.
Avonid said, whatever, says having a go is 1, to have sex.
Kinda.
2, to argue. 3, to give it a try. Bing, bing.
3. Yeah. You want to have a go? That means like, hey, I found $20 and there's an arcade down the street. Do you want to go have a go? That means you want to go down to the arcade and have a go with the games. You want to have a go? I just spent
$1,000 on fireworks.
Yeah, you want to have a go? Yes. The other thing is, if somebody says something to you like, hey, I just saw an alien. You say, oh, buddy, you're having a go. You're having a go. You're having a go.
Right.
Don't have a go.
Pulling my leg.
Yeah. That's what.
I've had to learn all this in like the last month.
This is right. He's had to learn very quickly what any of this stuff means.
Dr. Bastard says proper chuffed means to be really pleased.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes, maybe I have heard that then.
Yeah. Wow. No, I'm not going to ask that one.
Why?
I'm just not.
Okay, now I'm really curious what that question said. It was sexual, wasn't it? Was it sexual?
No.
What was it?
It was defecation related.
Ew! Oh God! Oh, why? Why is it?
I don't know.
Why? Why do people do things?
Do you think Christians will find it unnerving to consider building a Tower of Babel park while also thinking it will anger their God, or they just not consider that?
That's a good question.
It's a super good question.
I thought about that actually. I was like, didn't Bodie write a book on how it pissed God off to build a Tower of Babel? Like, no, I'm assuming they're talking about Ken Ham's Tower of Babel.
I assume so because
that's their next thing is that they're building.
Yeah,
the Tower
he's
of
actually
Babel.
finally admitted. So he's denied it in the past, but
no, he said it.
He's denied it in the past.
Okay,
but in 2 recent videos, he's said this is where we're going to put the Tower of Babel. He's had a map up on the screen.
Yeah, I know. I thought to myself, like Bodhi's claim to fame is that he wrote that fucking book, the Tower of Babel book. About
but so obviously
but
in my there's no they're not going to finish it because they want to build it up to a point where it looks like it was like partially finished.
So it's not even a tower.
It'll be the base of a Tower of Babel up to the point where God got angry.
That is lame as balls. Well, God got angry when it was pretty much done, though.
Well, it doesn't.
How do they decide? But how do they know that?
Of course.
Okay, I have a question.
Depends on how much budget they get.
How do they know how tall it was before God got pissed?
They don't.
And also, they have to admit at this point in time, I mean, there's the Burj Khalifa. It would have to be just shy of that for them to even say it comes close to being enough for God to get pissed.
God's chill now.
God changed his mind.
Yeah. God never changes, but you can build
cool
skyscrapers.
Now you can build shit where you can look down and see clouds, and God's like,
you know why? But here's
good work, guys.
But so seriously, Answers in Genesis and the group, so what God was angry about was not the tower. It was that everyone was cooperating and that he was so when the whole world it's this one government thing that is unacceptable.
No, or was it because they wanted to be closer to God?
Right. So, but now everyone's confused and fragmented, and we're not all united.
And that's what God wanted, was everybody to be.
So that's why, for example, my church.
So when everybody was working together and just wanted to be close to God, God was like, I'm not having it.
So my mother thinks
I'm not having it.
For example, the UN is terrible. Like the UN is bringing, which I don't know why they don't want, terrible? Because that's like this one world government thing again.
So,
and that's part of the end time stuff. But of course, I really don't understand why they don't want the end times to just happen.
Yeah, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you want to be raptured?
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that your ultimate goal?
So that's like my mom doesn't trust the chips in things because that's the mark of the beast. The payment chips.
I love my chip card. I'm not gonna lie. Boop. Done. See you later. Off I go.
I predict that the Tower of Babel at Answers in Genesis will be the exact size of a gift shop. However big a gift shop needs to be. 2 to 3.
It'll just be gift shops stacked on top of gift shop. Stacked on top of gift shop. That's all it'll be. Just one gift shop on top of another.
I'd love to see a debate between Richard Carey and Bart Ehrman, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. I would love to see that.
I'd love to see it too, but I don't think that will happen.
For those of you who don't know, Bart Ehrman is a renowned New Testament scholar. But also, and he identifies himself as agnostic.
Right.
But he's also firmly believes that Jesus was a historical figure.
Yes.
So it'd be two agnostic atheists saying that
whether
debating
Jesus
history is Jesus.
Pine Creek had a good one of those. Who did he have on? Was it Bart? And he didn't have Bart Ehrman. Was it Bart Ehrman? He had on with somebody else. They were both atheists.
He's never had Bart on, but he's had Richard Carrier on a few times, and he's
was
also
it Richard
had
with
Price
somebody
on.
else who was?
Go subscribe to Pine Creek if you're not subscribed.
Yeah, Pine Creek's great. Doug from Pine Creek's great.
Atheism is a religion / cult with a question mark.
No. How? Define either of those words and then tell me how. No.
Who would win in a slap fight, an orangutan or a Humboldt squid?
In a slap fight? I don't know enough about Humboldt squids.
I feel like
it depends on where are they though? Are they underwater?
Yeah.
If they're underwater, then the squid is going to win.
The squid has theoretically more tentacles with which to slap.
Yeah, well, if they're underwater, I feel like the squid will win because the squid could use the other tentacles at least to hold the orangutan in place and just slap him.
I don't know the rules to a slap fight.
But if the squid was on land, the orangutan could just slap it on the ground. It wouldn't be like, I don't know. I've just stopped biology questions.
New Brunswick reminds me of bowling. That's not even a question.
New Brunswick reminds me of. That's hilarious. I don't understand what that means.
Okay, we're starting to get low on this.
Are we?
What if what if the universe was nothing but grape jelly? I'd be dead.
We'd all be dead.
Yeah, I'd be grape jelly.
We'd be grape jelly.
Yeah.
If the universe is nothing but grape jelly, we'd all be grape jelly, and we wouldn't have anything to say about it.
Paul, make a Mormon video, please.
Why?
Well, Reese, what would you like me to say about that?
You were never a Mormon.
I was never a Mormon. I do. My channel tag is former Christian, takes a look at the claims of Christians. As when I was a Christian, and I was, I didn't consider Mormons to be Christians. Sorry, Mormons.
Now. He was never a Christian. He suppressed the truth and unrighteousness.
I guess I would be up for, at some point, making a joint video with a former Mormon, maybe, if depending on what the topic was, or Steve.
Or Steve, McRae. Yes, yeah, or Steve.
Yep. But yeah, for the time being, that's not my area of expertise, which is similar to why I don't like do Islam videos or Buddhism. Like they're just not my area.
Plus, you're doing a new series that's coming up.
I'm doing a new series.
He's writing a script today.
Oh, we were going to do channel updates.
We were going to do channel updates. Yeah, we haven't posted videos in a long time because we've been busy running the roads.
If you know what running the roads is, type 1 now. Press 1 now.
You go first.
So some of you may have seen my Broccoli Man video, which was just sort of a bonus one that I did.
Yeah, that was funny.
But no, I haven't done a video for much of August because I've been here with Shannon and deliberately taking some time off.
I ruined Paulogia's channel.
But I have taken the time that I might normally spend making videos, scripting my new series, which I'm not going to describe exactly, but it's a theology series more than science. I feel like, as if recent young earth creationist, honestly, what do I know about science?
I'm excited about the new
But I do know about Bible things.
He does.
So I'm going to do some more stuff about Bible things. And that's what
it's going to be called. It's going to be called Stuff About Bible Things by Paulogia. That's the new series. Paulogia presents Stuff About Bible Things.
I'm hoping that in September the first one will be out. We'll see. And then when I get home next week, I'm also hoping to do a couple of.
You need to finish Eric's.
I really need to get rid of the Genesis Paradise Lost series.
Get it off out of your life because I can't stand it anymore.
The next one's carbon dating.
Actually, that one needs to be done. I am so sick of hearing about carbon. God. It would be nice to just have, every time you make a video, I'm like, oh, it's good. Now somebody has something to point to go, no.
It's true.
Stop saying that.
So what's your channel update?
I haven't made a video yet in August because Paul's been here and we've been very, 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 very busy. I have been working, however. I've mostly been doing live streams this month. So I don't charge my patrons for live streams. So no charge this month so far, guys. But yeah, pardon me. Goodness. But I haven't worked. I spent a fair amount of time researching the next video that I'm doing. The next video that I'm doing is close to being done. I've already started scripting it. So I'm hoping it'll be out by the end of August. And also, I just did a collaboration with Professor Stick that is going to be coming out maybe next week. And I won't say what it's about because I'm not going to spoil it. But he needed somebody who had a bit of my expertise, I guess.
Right.
Well, he didn't really need me, but he could have done great on his own. But he thought that I might be able to help contribute to something new he was kind of doing. So
he's a lazy bastard.
No, he's not. He's delightful, actually. He works really hard. When I did the video with him,
I thought it was obvious that would be a joke.
I've had somebody keeps giving me this cooler. This is a bad idea. I should probably pull this video down.
All right. Oh, and there's a lot of comments about how great Tipsy Shannon is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But those are not questions.
I'm sorry. This is not my best light.
They're right. Tipsy Shannon is delightful.
Right, Tipsy. I'm right some drunk, bud. It's a sin. It's a sin.
Paul, have you considered more response videos to claims of other channels of a more Christian flavor? Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I think I see them all the time and they make me angry. And
I know that they make him angry. God help him. He's telling you the fucking truth. I've seen that firsthand.
on Twitter. You can DM me suggestions and or join my Discord server and put suggestions there because I consider it.
Join the Discord. I'm on Paulogia's Discord.
I have a new series
sometimes.
called Just the Bite that I'm now willing to just put random.
I like it though. Like the Just the Bite videos are only like 7 to 8 minutes long. But it allows you to step outside of just doing the Ken Ham stuff and the Eric Hovind stuff. Like it's a good transition.
Right.
Because I mean, we went through the Eric Hovind list of his claims and we're pretty much done his creation today crap. Like they start repeating.
No, because Grand Canyon is in like 19 times.
But we already did one with it was Mount St. Helens.
Oh, that's right.
That was in there. Every time I'd be like, is the day we're going to do Mount St. Helens? And people would go, no. It's just never going to happen. We're never going to do Mount St. Helens.
I have Frank Turek. Frank Turek's up for my Just the Bite list, for example.
Oh, you should do Frank Turek.
Yeah. So
Don't ever Josh Fierstein me, though. Like, don't.
Is he still alive?
Is he still alive? Yeah, he's still. Or like, what's his stupid face? The wife abusing stupid
Joel Osteen?
No.
Joel Osteen?
No.
Oh, Steve Anderson?
Wife.
Joel Osteen has definitely
abused his wife?
Yes.
No, that's not who I'm thinking of. The one I'm thinking of is the one who Chris Hitchens hates on Twitter.
Not Steve Anderson?
Greg Locke.
Oh, no, sorry. He's the one.
That's see, Joel. You just said Joel Osteen definitely abused his wife. Somebody's going to have that as a sound clip now.
Slander.
And I was right.
Slander.
Joel Osteen hasn't abused his wife. He's the one who had the mega church in the hurricane.
Yeah.
Was he even drunk? I'm right.
Don't do
that to me, though.
Every
look at the whole chat goes, Locke, Greg Locke.
Yeah.
Thanks, chats. I should have looked earlier.
I just found out Pentecostals think you have to speak in tongues to go to heaven. What the fuck?
Yeah, that is fucked. Godless Iowa does that good.
Channel. That's really what I like.
You just like saying fuck on someone's channel. Sorry, I'm not monetized. Do whatever you want. Actually, I'm eligible for Oh, that's on the channel. I'm eligible for monetization now. I'm not though. I'm not monetized
because YouTube takes their sweet time to do whatever they want to do.
Whatever. I don't make money at all.
Pentecostals don't. I don't think they think tongues is a salvation issue. Like if you were to
that's how you get the Holy Spirit in you.
Yeah, but like if you were baptized, like they would say, like if you were baptized and then died right away and never got to speak in tongues, you'd still be saved. But to show that the Spirit, like it's evidence that the Spirit is in you. And I shouldn't touch the mic. Sorry.
I was trying to be subtle.
Well, here's a nice one from Chris. I haven't had internet for a couple of weeks, so I didn't notice you were missing. All right.
We were kinda, yeah. Nobody missed us though. It's okay.
Well, the next one is Shannon raptures me, so I don't know if that was
whoever you are.
Don't
tell Paul. I see
you. Does anyone know, was there some drama between Eric and his dad Kent, or is that some internet meme I didn't get?
I don't know anything about their personal life, and their personal life is of zero consequence to me.
The answer is yes. There was drama between Kent and the rest of his family after leaving prison. If you really want to know the details, you can search for it because I don't necessarily want to spread the gossip.
This isn't a gossip channel.
But
thank you.
Yes, they had.
That's their personal life.
I will say that I watch Kent's videos every day.
Yes, he does.
And Kent continues.
Sometimes in the middle of the night.
Kent continues to endorse his son regularly. So so whatever's happening, at least Kent still cares about his son.
Joey's right. Yeah, blue nosers don't make money. You got to go out west to make money. Maybe come from away.
Boolinator asks, Paul gets angry? ?
Yeah. Yep. Not at me. Because I'm a formidable human being and I'm terrifying.
A fucking delight.
I am. A fucking delight. Everybody. Oh, big sigh.
This is now like 9. Greg Locke. If we think enough gay thoughts, do you think we could summon a tropical storm to put out all the fires in California? I think the
all Paul
Californians
does is think gay thoughts.
I think the Californians would have to think the gay thoughts. If we thought them here, we would get drowned.
No, just send thoughts and prayers. That's what works.
Okay.
Thoughts and prayers.
I really don't think I lived in San Francisco, and I really don't think it's possible for there to be any more gay thoughts crammed into the city.
I don't know him. I don't know him.
It took us 4 months to get remonetized after the February 20th deadline. Yeah, they took a long time before. I think they're sped up now.
Now I'll never get my $5 a month from AdSense. How will I survive? I don't do it for that anyway. It doesn't matter.
Every day, Jesus, I can hardly get through 10 seconds of his wank. Yeah, I watch Kent Owen every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
And we watch Answers in Genesis together twice a week. Mondays and Thursdays, 3 p.m. my time. What is it? Your time? Noon. Be noon your time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We meet online, and they're on YouTube now.
We talk to Nick on the chats.
Yeah, and Chaosism, who I adore.
Mm-hmm.
He's usually in the chat.
He is.
Yep.
And a bunch of homeschool kids.
And that's what devastates me the most. And we get muted.
I've never got. Oh yeah,
you did get muted because you were talking about your channel.
That's right.
But then you smartened the fuck up.
Yeah.
And now you don't talk about your channel anymore. You're like, oh, I did a video on that. And I'm like, you're a retarded. Don't stop saying that. Don't say, oh, I did a video on that thing. Everybody go check out my channel.
But what's fun is that
I tell them they're stupid.
But now everyone else in the chat just does it for me. So I don't have
Yes,
to do
that's
it.
right. That's right. Or I will.
Paul did a video on that.
Yep.
Alligators wants you to reflect on your talk with Sai, which I feel like you covered.
I
at the
did
start
that
of the
earlier.
Chat. So
yeah.
go to the start. Alligators.
I don't know. I feel bad because maybe he wasn't there at the beginning. But I thought the summation is, I think it did well. I didn't approach it as a debate, nor did I intend it to be a debate. And my intention was for both of us to maybe have a better understanding of each other's perspective and just prove that somebody that usually has really combative conversations with people like me could have a positive dialogue where we both understood each other a little bit better. And I think that at least was accomplished. Other people had different intentions for me. And we're quite vocal about it, which is fine. That's fine. That's fine. People don't know my intent. I didn't make it clear enough going in. So that's on me as a communicator. Right. I should have read it. Right.
Well, it's
right.
how you and I are.
Right. That's on you.
You and I are different in that way because obviously, if I had Sai on, my goals would be very different.
Yes.
Because I don't care about the conversation.
No, he doesn't care about conversations at all.
He
cares about being right.
Demantos says, I'm a lifetime atheist. My girlfriend is Catholic. Can it still work?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I think it can work.
You just have to avoid a lot of conversations.
Well, obviously, and like someone like Pine Creek became an atheist.
Yeah.
And his wife is still a Christian, and that worked out. So it's possible. I mean, it's just in the realm of possible.
You just have to accept that you're going to do different. Like, if she wants to go to church, you just have to accept that that's what she wants to do. If that means that you can't make plans on that, like, you just have to understand that there's certain affordances that you're going to have to make in order to have a relationship work with somebody who has different beliefs than you. But I would take the time now ahead of time to have serious conversations about what that future projection looks like.
Well, and most importantly, if you intend to have kids, or even if you don't intend to have kids, it's like, what if we have kids? Because that's you two as adults.
I wouldn't even jump to that until you figure out whether or not you two can work out.
Well, if I'm so step two,
if you figure, okay, we can make this work out. Because
it's a whole. I've seen it happen where all of a sudden a kid makes all.
Yeah, throws everything sideways.
Well, I assumed I was always going to take him to mass, and the others, well, I don't ever want to.
I don't want him to go to church. Yeah. That's fair. All of that is fair.
Shannon, your outtakes on our Atheist Edge. Shannon, your outtakes on our collab is a steady source of levity recently. It makes it fun to edit.
Bad for them. Everybody should go to the Atheist Edge. So I read a bunch of excerpts from a book. Oh my gosh, why can't I remember the name of the book right now? Oh my gosh, that's awful. Oh my gosh, I had too many drinks. Not God's Type. It was called Not God's Type. Holy smokes. And it was written by this woman who was an atheist and converted to Christianity and then ultimately Catholicism. And it was all about her deconversion and why she was an atheist was because she wanted to feel superior to people. And the first time I had read anything of this book was when I was reading the excerpts that Jim sent me from the Atheist Edge to read, because I read her words, like her narrative in the book for them, because they have this amazing book club. It's an atheist and Christian book club where they both read the same books and then have these great conversations. Like you should go check out their channel. It's a great channel. But anyway, so I did the collab with them, and it's a several part series because it was a long book, and I feel bad for them because as I was reading through it, I was losing it. I was getting frustrated because a lot of what she was saying was just really bad. And so I read it one long take. So I don't even know how long the audio file I sent Jim was, but it was not short. And I sent it literally with an apology. It was just like, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't edit this down because I didn't have time, because it was just before you were coming. I was like, I didn't edit this down because I didn't have time. So everything I said is in there. And I said a lot of things. But he used them. He puts my outtakes. And one of them even says, "Welcome to Paul's life" or something like that. This is what Paul's life is. I just send him files that are garbage, and I'm like, make this a video. Just me swearing at a camera.
I have no sympathy for that.
For 20 minutes. That's a 5-minute video. Just 20 minutes of me swearing, and in there's little snippets of me making sense. Paul condenses that down into a cogent 7-minute video of me looking like I know what I'm talking about. I do work though. I just get frustrated because I'm not a good reader because I'm dyslexic and I have to read all of it. Anyway.
Non-sequitur show, who I think we've determined is Steve and not Kyle.
Oh, is it Steve? Hi, Steve.
Paul, and this is, I think, well, I'll tell you what I think the motives for this are after I read it.
Jesus.
From a Facebook fan of mine, I'd say that Aaron Raw, Richard Carrier, Paul from Paulogia, and you are the 4 people that had the biggest influence on me since I got injured, which is why I decided to go back to school. So that was someone's on Steve's Facebook.
Oh, so Steve would be the you in that scenario.
I think that's what Steve wanted us to acknowledge, that Steve is in this.
That Steve's one of the people. Oh, well, that's a sweet thing to say.
It is.
That's nice for
it's
you,
a good
guy.
Group. Good group.
Good. That is a good group to be in. And Steve.
Good
and
group
you.
and Steve.
And Steve. I love Steve. Steve knows that I kid with him because I love him.
We first
were
introduced to each other on
Steve's channel a year ago.
Friday.
Yeah.
Upcoming Friday.
Yeah. It's the first time you and I ever talked to each other.
Yep.
On Steve's channel.
I can't even read that.
What
Thoughts on antinatalism? What's antinatalism?
I haven't got a
All right, we don't know.
Clue. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is.
We've been drinking.
We've been drinking. What time is it?
We've been on for a while.
Oh my gracious.
We could wrap it up. What time is it? We should wrap it up at the top of the hour because it's
okay.
In 8 minutes. What do you think?
8 minutes. 8 minutes. Rapid fire time.
All right. What do you think will be the majority religion in 300 years, if any?
None.
I think no
or
religion.
Muslim. It'll be one or the other.
I think we're headed for Star Trek.
God, I hope so.
Not in all the ways, but
not in all
social.
Yeah.
Although I think we will still in Star Trek they have like no commerce either, and I still feel like that is an impossibility.
That's impossible. There's no way to have no commerce.
Yeah. Where it's just like everyone gets a replicator and you can have whatever you want, but keep working.
Yeah, no.
But everyone keep building roads. Like I just don't think that's gonna.
Yeah, and spaceships, and transporters, and replicators.
Because you're having fun with it.
Yeah.
Natalism is a belief that promotes reproduction of sentient life. The term is taken from the Latin form for birth, natalis. So it promotes the reproduction of sentient life. So like that would be that we should just keep like all sentient life is just obligated to reproduce.
No, I don't think so. I don't think you're obligated to reproduce.
No, it is what natalism is, though.
I guess based on that description, if we're interpreting that correctly, if I'm understanding you reading that correctly,
I think really sentient life should stop reproducing, and then we would be better off if some of us would stop.
Well, not all sentient life should stop reproducing because then nothing would exist.
We should slow her down.
We should slow her down. You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Probably.
I think that. Yeah, if we just took our resources divided by fewer people, that we would have more resources.
Yeah.
I
only have one kid, and I'm content with that.
Also, I think there is
although we have 4 between us, everybody do the math on that.
Yeah.
And I really firmly believe that if you don't want kids, you should not have them. If you're even on the fence a little, if you're even like more towards the, I don't really know if I want kids, I don't know if I'm ready to have kids. Like, well, maybe then there's an argument for like, you could be convinced that you're ready. But like, if you are saying to yourself, kids are not for me, I don't want kids, that don't.
Right.
Don't. You're not obligated to. Your life will be fine. Like, just don't.
Don't have from my position. It's very similar as a religion.
The species will survive.
I don't think anyone should not.
Okay.
I don't think we should have any regulations against religion. I also don't think there should be any regulations
there should never.
against. No, but also like similarly, I don't think there should be regulations against having kids. I just think if we would,
never.
If we could have good sex ed, for example,
yes,
and so we'd have fewer, as you kind of alluded to. It's kind of like. If we could have all pregnancies be wanted pregnancies,
which isn't, that's also not realistic, though.
No, but if we could,
not all pregnancies are always going to be wanted pregnancies. But yeah, if we could get closer towards that,
right, then that wouldn't be bad. I don't think we stop
vilifying premarital sexual activity and made contraceptives more widely available and gave people a better education on how they work, when they do and don't work, how they can fail.
I just think
like give that people realistic education about those times and earlier.
Right. But the species wouldn't be hurt by that in any way.
No.
Yeah, no.
And the kids wouldn't be hurt by that. A lot of pregnancies would be prevented. Some wouldn't because contraception can fail. But here's my argument. If all of those kids are going to have sex, or people, not just kids, people, because we're talking about education. So like if all of those from teenagers up to whatever reproductive age, while you're still viable to reproduce, all of those people that don't want children, let's say there's 1 million of them, all don't use or don't use contraception and have sex. Pretty sizable proportion of them going to end in a pregnancy. All of them do use contraception and have sex, significantly smaller margin gonna result in pregnancy. Still probably a couple because there's a margin of error.
And I think the species would be okay. That's all I'm asking about natalism. Yeah. This is just a statement. Jedi is a religion fairly popular in the UK. I hear. Yeah, it is. It's on the census, but I don't think it's gonna be on the next census because apparently there's not enough of them anymore.
Oh. So the first to go. The Jedis are the first to go.
What's your favorite?
Collateral damage. There, down go the Jedis. Ask your question.
What's your favorite non-sci-fi movie?
My favorite non-sci-fi. Oh, well, Memento. Memento's not sci-fi. Memento.
Heat.
Yeah. I feel like both of those are good answers. Mine especially, but whatever.
What one household item should everyone own?
Oh my Jesus. One household toilet paper.
Everyone
toilet paper, which we just read out. Toilet paper. Everybody should have that. Imagine life without it.
Yeah. How psyched are you guys to be on a panel at Faithless Forum 2019? Asked genetically modified skeptic.
So excited! I brought it up earlier in the stream, but yes, I can't wait to go. Hey, I got a question for genetically modified skeptic in the live chat. When's the Faithless Forum? So I can book my vacation and my plane tickets. Please.
I get a passport.
Some of us have kids and lives and have to travel from a different country and want to advertise it because everybody should go to Faithless Forum.
Yeah, we're
going.
It's
guess what, America?
Yeah, it's our priority.
I'll be there.
So we're very psyched.
We're going. Are we running out of questions?
Well, we was a minute less. I was trying to.
Okay, we'll try to jam one in. Jam one. There's got to be a good one.
What is this non-sci-fi thing you speak of?
What?
Hey, Paul, can you solve the problem of induction right now on stream? No, not with 1 minute left.
It's an easy one, Paul. You're lazy. So lazy.
If mosquitoes became technologically advanced, would you fear their navy?
Fear their navy? Who asked that? That's amazing.
That's logic beats speculation.
Would you fear their navy? That might be one of my favorite questions ever. Yeah, if mosquitoes were technologically advanced enough to establish a navy, like how does that happen? Like,
I don't know, because
that was
because I assume it's true, right? Like they bite and then they die, right? They feed and they lay their eggs and then they die.
Yeah.
So that'd be when do they invent things?
They'd have to like disseminate knowledge.
Maybe they would first invent some way not to die after they lay their eggs.
Oh wow, that would be impressive. And then they have the key to longevity. That's something that everybody.
And they don't have to look after their kids.
No, they don't.
So all that free time.
Right. Free time. And now they have the key to longevity. And they develop somehow like opposable thumbs, or they manage to enslave a race that can build them ships so that they have a navy. Like, if you're a mosquito, how can you get like, there's so many questions. Like, if they managed to get a navy, I would be afraid, because how did that happen? I fear things I don't understand.
Should we just end it on the mosquito note?
I fear things I don't understand.
All right, because people are not asking, serious questions again. So
are they? Oh, okay. Let's answer a couple. That's a sin. I don't want to. Right. Okay.
What do you think is the single best piece of evidence to convince a creationist that they should doubt their hypothesis?
Oh wow, the single that. Okay, you're better for this one than me. You go ahead first, because this is more your wheelhouse.
I think that genetics as a field should.
Chromosome 2 did it.
Chromosome 2 was my straw that broke the camel's back for me. Mm-hmm. The fusion of two ape ancestor genes into one. Mm-hmm. And then combined with that is the retroviruses, the retroviruses that are at the same spots in our ancestors' DNA as ours. Like, for me, that was like pretty much the linchpin. It was like, no creator is inventing virus flaws from scratch,
right, in
disparate species at exactly the same points and things like that. So like, I kind of feel like if you studied some of those genetic cases, that's a super good case, because it'd be tough to wrap your, common designer, but clearly these are flaws. And if you have a perfect God, he's not putting the same flaw in
several species.
lots of disparate, even clades. Like they're not even like from the same clade. So,
Yes. Yep.
anyway, that would be my first answer, I guess.
Okay. That's really good. I would go with genetics too. And the genome, like the human, like the hominid genome, just in general. So yeah, like going through the genome, because we were able to sequence a lot of the Neanderthal DNA too, right? So although they had 24
pairs.
Was it diploid pairs? Yes, because haploid individuals. So going through the genome would be my answer. And looking at the genomic comparison, because like the chromosome 2, I was already, like, even when I was a Christian, I subscribed to evolution because I wasn't as, I thought I was devout. And then I met Paul and realized that I was one of those heathen fake Christians who believed in evolution and stuff because because I wasn't one of the real Christians, even though I was pretty sure I was, but I was one of the, it's the run-of-the-mill Christians. So yeah, so I already believed in a lot of that stuff. So I've never been a creationist. But one of the things that I've learned a lot about genetics by working with him, and chromosome 2 was a big one for me. Like when you look at where is it the telomeres fused? Like the telomeres, right? It was a telomere to telomere fusion, chromosome 2.
Yeah.
And you can clearly see it. Like they put it next to the chimp genome and you can see the fusion, and next to the Neanderthal genome and you can see the fusion point. And when they break it apart and lay it next to the chimp and the Neanderthal DNA, it's crazy. Or chromosome, sorry. Or genome. Oh my gosh. Who keeps giving me drinks? It's bananas. And then you go back through the fossil record and you can clearly see the progression towards us as well. Like when you go through whenever somebody says there's no evidence in the fossil record, I'm like, here's like a list. Here's a chart. They're like, but they only found a jaw. I'm like, no. They found so many. It wasn't just a jaw. Well, they just constructed that from a tooth. I'm like, no, they didn't.
What I don't think Christians understand is that we would never have to have ever found a fossil, and we would still today think that evolution is how things happened, because just gene sequencing alone,
right,
of the current species that are alive,
right,
like we would have never had to have found a single fossil. We would have still come to the same conclusion. So
that's fair.
A threesome with Eric and Kent every night for a week, or working as a tour guide at the Creation Museum for a month.
Tour guide.
I would actually love to be a tour guide at the Creation Museum,
because
that would be awesome.
I'd get fired right quick.
You do not meet
right quick
all of the
I couldn't get hired to begin with.
I
don't meet any of the qualifications on the statement of faith.
But nope. I might even pay a little bit of money if they would let me be a tour guide there for a month.
To just go through and tell them everything that was wrong with the displays. Yeah. I would spend months studying for that job.
That'd be awesome.
Months. I would need a picture of every display they had, and I would just go through all of the literature, all of it. Oh, we could do that too. That would be fun. Me and Paul are such a nerdy couple. We would spend months preparing for that. But we wouldn't even take us months, I don't think.
So my new idea now,
wouldn't take that because they're such shitty displays.
They basically just wear these blue shirts. Like I'm actually now.
We should just go in.
I would love to just go in and with our own name tags and just act as if we were tour guides.
Yes.
But not actually be them.
Can we do that one day?
That would be fun.
Oh my god, that would be so much fun. Just to go in and just be unassuming, just kind of wander around, and as soon as somebody asks this question, go, "Oh, I'll just take you through. Like, come with us. We'll just take you through."
I will say the staff at the Creation Museum are some of the nicest people. I felt so sad. They're some of the nicest people I've ever encountered. I know it was troublesome in that they were.
Yeah, I can see how that would be disparate.
Yeah. We're over. Do you want to keep going?
Whatever.
I think that we're.
Do it.
What are some challenging and convincing apologists out there? None.
Fucking guy. None.
challenging or what? Like
Or convincing?
no,
Yeah,
none.
None are convincing.
So many are
challenging. Yeah.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
Some of them might be watching this stream. I don't know. I think we're done.
Do you think we're done?
Yeah.
All right, guys. I guess we're done. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
For the surprise stream.
Oh, and
we have Patreons and stuff, and he's got a Discord, and he has a channel. And I have a channel. It's this channel. You can subscribe to this channel. Oh, and I have what else do I do? Oh, I have a PayPal thing, and I have
and next we will see you on Heathen Hour.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be on the Heathen Hour on Saturday. I host the Heathen Hour too with Godless Cranium, and we have our own channel now. Subscribe to the Heathen Hour channel. I'm gonna have to change that in my description. I'm going to put that in my description. That's every Saturday. Go. I do a podcast. It's good. It's better than this.
Good night, everybody.
No, you have to hit stop broadcast.
Elevate the Discord.
Elevate the Discord.